You say something about judgment, like I'm just noticing that, like at certain times, there's very intense judgment, like arising in me, mostly about other people, which is it's kind of like the false sense of authorship on them instead of on me.
Mm-hmm. So what you are,
Yeah.
I mean, when we use the term judgment, what is being described is your evaluation that is coupled with a should.
Yes.
In other words, I don't like the behavior. I don't like that.
Yes.
And the other person shouldn't do it.
Right.
So the judgment is that's a bad thing to do.
Right.
That's the evaluation. The evaluation is that's a bad thing to do. I don't like it. But when it is combined with that quality of authorship, the other person is capable of not doing it from their own power. And all that's necessary is for you to point it out for them. Because once they understand, then they'll stop their behavior.
And there might be certain areas, like if they're a drug addict, and I'm like sane, I would know they were powerless. But if you that kind of goes across the board, it's not just about that. I mean, it would be the same as with anything. They're powerless.
And most people say that if you're a drug addict, that you are simply a bad person because
no willpower.
You should
right.
simply not do the drugs.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And so the judgment is that you are the way you are because you have chosen this,
right,
and you have the power not to be that.
Right.
That's implicit.
Right.
In the judgment.
Right.
Of others.
I overheard a conversation yesterday about this. Because people were saying exactly that.
Right. I mean that's the predominant worldview.
Yeah.
Is that we are responsible for our behavior.
Right.
And that if we behave badly,
right,
it's because we're fill in the blank. That we shouldn't be that way.
Right.
And underneath it, unrecognized, unexpressed, is this quality of authorship. That the other person is authoring their behavior. And you say, well, because when I was in college, I used to do some drugs and drank a lot, and I, had a little bit of a problem with it, and I just stopped doing it.
Right.
And so, you see,
right.
I know from my experience that you can just stop doing things. You just decide, and then you stop. And the other person, that person should do that. So that's implicit in such judgments. And it is so prevalent that it isn't even questioned. It's just, that's how it is.
You could just fill in the blank for anything. And you should also stop criticizing your children, and you should stop, fill in the blank, anything that you think anybody should be doing differently.
Right. One of the most dramatic examples of this, and there's there's lots of them, but one that pops out of my mind was 10 years ago, or however many years ago, there was a old guy at the Santa Monica farmers market who hit, it was in his car, and he's hit the gas instead of the brake, and he plowed through the market, and I don't know, I think he killed a couple of people. And the hue and cry from the world was, this man should be punished. That he shouldn't have done that. He needs to pay for what it was. I mean, it's to me was like insane. This was a sweet old guy. I mean, everybody said, I mean, he was a nice man. He was a kind, loving, generous human being, and made a tragic error. Yeah. Tragic error. It resulted in, in other people being hurt, killed. He was tried. I don't remember what the outcome of it was. But I mean, the district attorney charged him with manslaughter because the people wanted someone to be held responsible. Because it holds the fabric together of the lie. You see? It holds the fabric of the lie together, that we are in control, that we have power. And when things like that happen, and you go, well, it's just shit happens. No. That's not tolerable as a response in terms of the society. The society demands responsibility and accountability, and that is the claim of authorship as it is institutionalized in the society.